Hey gang, Anthony here. Quick video. Somebody asked me today, how did you get into real estate? And it's a great story because it falls to my favorite quote, which is every adversity bears within it the seed of a greater equivalent. And I've been in banking all my life. I mean, right out of high school, I went to 1 year of college and then started working during the day in the summer. My first summer out of high school, actually out of the first year of college. Hey, Michael, as soon as I got out of that 1 year, I needed a job. So I worked in the summer at the Bank of Tokyo in Manhattan. So I started working in banking. And I was around money, right? So not money in the sense of dollar bills, but I was working for a Japanese bank, the largest bank in the world at the time. And I was young. As I worked there, they decided to send me to college. So now I started going to school at night at Pace University, worked during the day at the bank, went to school at night. Met a gal, we got together, we got engaged, and we also got pregnant, and we had a baby. Well, Erica today is in Iceland right now. So this is a great story because it was not an easy time. We were like, what are we going to do? We're just kids. I was like 20. And I wondered, how do we make this work? And I always knew that some good things would come from life, and I was always encouraged by my family that I would do great things. And here I am, living in a pink bedroom, my sister's bedroom in my parents' house with a 6-month-old baby, a young bride, not knowing which way was up, going to school at night, working during the day. And we had a pink Princess phone in the house, like next to me. It was really not a fun situation. I had too many people telling us what to do. Too many people were involved in our life, trying to help us raise the baby. As young as we were, we really wanted to do the right thing. And I think today we did. But that led to just looking at an advertisement for a house that was for sale in Brentwood, Long Island. We lived in Brooklyn. We were in Bensonhurst. No, we were in Bay Ridge at the time, on 67th Street and 7th Avenue. So we ended up going out to Brentwood that cold March morning. And hey, Mary, how are you? John, what's happening? We basically got in the car. We didn't tell my parents where we were going because God knows they would have killed me if I even thought about this. And we drove out to Brentwood, about 60 miles away. And the realtor thought, like, what are these two kids doing here, So he showed us 3 houses. And what I loved about it is the houses that he showed us, he had, in real estate back then, maybe they still do it now, he showed us an inexpensive home, then he showed us a really expensive home, and then one right in the middle. The inexpensive home was not really in the best area. The expensive home was right near a country club. So when we got back to his office, we were chomping at the bit, had a couple of dollars in the bank, and we ended up putting an offer in, a $25 binder on that more expensive house. It was $33,500. I'll never forget it. So that was our foray. It took 6 months. Hi, Irene. How are you? It took 6 months for us to close that FHA loan. This conversation today was basically on the market, how rates are going up, prices are going up, the sky is falling, real estate is going to collapse. And I was talking to a mortgage guy. So this is what I said to him. I told him this. I said, I got involved at that point, ended up working for the realtor, ended up getting involved in a number of other properties and stayed in real estate pretty much all my life. I added to my resume, tax accounting, the banking career, obviously for decades, retail, international banking. I've done it all. But I've always loved real estate, and I love the fact that I'm still in the industry all this time. MJ and I own First Rehab Property Group. We're a rehab company. We have that. I am in the mortgage business. Rates are going to go up. Rates are going to go down. So my conversation with this young guy today was, look, I remember doing mortgages in 7, 8, 9%. I remember seeing mortgages in the early 80s at 15 to 16 and 17%. Some of you guys may remember that. You might be old enough. Not a good time if you were in the real estate industry. But a house that my ex-wife lives in right now, Celeste, she lives in this house. It's in Bay Ridge. We paid $255,000 for it. And we bought that house 8 years after the very first house. So 2 primary residences at that point. That house today is north of 7 figures in value. It's in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. It's in an amazing area. But I remember when we bought it, we paid $255,000. It appraised for $285,000. I was excited. I made money. And then it went down to $215,000. right? And then, oh man, I might have lost money. I may have made a mistake here. Well, I really didn't. We stuck it out. We held on to that property. She's still in it 30 years later. Obviously, it's done very well. You don't lose money in real estate. If you're thinking about getting into real estate, if you're thinking about buying a home, don't wait. Don't wait for the market to crash, for housing prices to go down, for interest rates to go back to 3 or 4%. It's not going to happen. At least I don't think it will. At least not for the next 10 years. Rates are where they are. They're at an historic low right now. So the reason I'm talking about this is because this is really what I do for a living, on top of a few other things that MJ and I do. Hey, Jamie, how are you? Jamie, real estate, amazing realtor right here. Jamie, you're awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm so happy you're on this call right now. Look, the market is, what I'm hearing right now is there's not a lot of inventory. I have so many people that are looking to buy, right? But they can't. There's just nothing out there. So people are sitting on the sidelines. Well, the sellers might get anxious. I'm not a realtor anymore. I was a realtor. I was licensed. But people like Jamie that are on here and my buddy Nicole, they can get more into this for you. All I'm going to say is this. If you cannot create, there is no better way to create wealth in real estate. There is no better way, period. People talk about passive income. I talked about this a few days ago. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as passive income. The only way you can actually have a passive income, and I'm talking about from a business, passively from a business, where you don't do any work, put some money in, you make money, it doesn't exist, is if you own real estate, or if you're investing in the public markets, the stock market, the Forex market, and you're doing that with some conservative attitude, basically, so you don't lose your shirt. Be willing to lose money. You don't lose money in real estate. I've never lost $1 in real estate, not one single penny. Have I had challenges in it? Yeah. Does an oil burner break down? You have to replace it. Maybe. Yeah. Things happen. It's real estate, but there is no better way to create wealth. So I'm going to encourage you. Hi, Janice. How are you? What's going on? I encourage you to look at the market right now, because you're reading the headlines. The sky is falling. It's not going anywhere. There is no question in my mind that if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s and you don't own a house, you can own a house. Reach out to us. We can talk about it. Find a realtor that you can work with. Ask me who I would use. I'll refer you to the best of the best out here on Long Island. Don't be afraid to step into the market. there are tax advantages that we can go over. I showed somebody last night where if they bought a house that they're looking at, that they would love to own. Hey George, how are you, buddy? The amazing thing is their income tax withholding could theoretically go down $600 a month. Well, that's huge, $600 a month. It's the difference between affordability and not affording it. I took advantage of that little law back in 1979 when I bought that first house. I changed my withholding whereby I had almost nothing coming out of my paycheck, but I was able to make that mortgage payment as tight as it was for me, making $161 a week. I was able to afford that house mainly because I was able to take home most of my income. In real estate, you get tax deductions, you get the ability to accrue equity as it moves up in value, and you're accruing that equity on a leveraged investment. Let's think about that. Hi Andres, how are you? Robert, what's going on, brother? Think about this. You put $20,000 down on a house. Let's say it's a $400,000 house, and you put 20 grand down. You got a $308,000 mortgage, and in 10 years, the $400,000 house is worth $750,000. You made a lot of money in equity, right? But that $20,000 investment, that's really where your rate of return comes in, because you're using the bank's money. Money is a depreciating asset, unfortunately. But bottom line is, because it is a depreciating asset, you're borrowing it from a lender, they're taking a risk, you're actually paying them back with dollars that are worth less than when you borrowed the money. Now, yes, you're paying interest on that, but you get to deduct the interest. So there's that right there. You can't deduct your rent. So if you're renting right now and you're open-minded to maybe getting involved in real estate, I'm going to encourage you, dive into it. Don't be afraid to step out and get the information that you need. I just know that there's a whole bunch of you right now that probably qualify to buy and are not looking because you're afraid. Don't be afraid. You don't need tremendous down payments anymore. The crazy 0% down loans really don't exist much, but you can get away with a very minimum down payment. I encourage you, because I know 10 years from the day you buy that house, you're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. I'm so excited. I'm so happy, because it belongs to you. The land under your feet, you own. No landlord can tell you to go. Nobody can do that. And if you compare rent with owning, I can show you almost just in 5 minutes flat where the rent will absolutely exceed the net mortgage payment 9 out of 10 times. There's not even a question about it. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is 10 minutes in. Hi, Diane. How are you? Don, what's happening? Real estate's the way to go, guys. And I firmly believe that there's a lot of properties out there right now that are not even listed. Right? They're just not on the market. There's a lot of abandoned properties, a lot of boarded up houses. That's an opportunity. If you see one of those things, reach out to me and let me know. Maybe we'll buy it, and we'll give you a referral on that one. But look for the reasons why you can do something. I guess is the purpose of this. Don't look at the reasons why you can't. For 6 months, from March to August, we slept in that little pink bedroom with our little baby growing up. And we were just like, when is this going to happen? Once we closed and we moved in, I remember pulling up with the truck, and Celeste was on the lawn looking at the truck. My brother-in-law Billy was in the truck, and she said, hey, homeowner. And I said, hey, homeowner. And man, the biggest smile was on our face. We were just so excited. And we moved into that little tiny house there, and our lives have never been the same ever since. So I'd like you to experience that. I'd like for you to share the joy of knowing that when you wake up, you're waking up in something that you own, something that's going to create a legacy for your family and for your children. And a roof over the head it's the most amazing investment you'll ever make in your life. More than the cars, more than the jewelry, more than the Rolexes or whatever. Put your money where it needs to be put, and put it into something that's going to appreciate. So anyway, that's it. Anyone has any questions, share this, please. I'd love it if you did. If you know of anyone that's looking or interested in buying or doesn't know how to go through the process, have them reach out to me, inbox me, message me, call me. You all have my cell phone number. It's on my Facebook somewhere. But hey, KL, how are you? I want you to reach out. I want you to make a change in your life this year, because by this time next year, you could be living in your own home. How awesome is that? Anyway, God bless, guys. Have a wonderful night.